Alright, so, just to be on the safe side, all this going on, we're doing the supports, from the quarters. I did all the grinding I could do. Turns out, though, there's, like, it takes, like, a lot of food item ingredients to do supports. Like, a lot. It's getting harder and harder to do that. Anyway. What's up, Hubert?
It seems I am discovered. I suppose that means assassination is out of the question. At least for now.
Assassination, huh?
Unusually watchful. Difficult to steal upon in slumber. Perhaps an odorless, tasteless poison. Lady Edelgard certainly took interest in a difficult one this time.
I love the implication that this is obviously veering into speculation territory, but the idea that Hubert has plans to kill anyone who's, like, near Edelgard in any capacity. It's like that old meme about how Batman with planning is unbeatable. Because, you know, like, his whole part of his thing is that he's got a way to beat any member of the Justice League if it ever came down to it. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a nerd.
I suppose that question does warrant a response, considering it may mean your life. The answer requires me to explain some of the complex internal politics of the Empire. Are you familiar with Volkard von Arundel? He is Lady Edelgard's uncle.
I may have heard the
You may
name.
also know him as Lord Arundel, the Empire's regent. Many years ago, he took Her Majesty and fled to the kingdom of Fargus. Then after a time, he returned to seize power. Joining forces with Prime Minister Eyre and my father, Lord Arundel rendered Emperor Ionius IX politically impotent. Lady Edelgard is Ionius IX's daughter. I cannot begin to fathom the depth of her sadness at his betrayal. I see something of Lord Arundel in you. When I look at you, I feel I can almost see a second self lurking beneath the surface.
A second
It is
self.
as if you are in constant dialogue
that's
with
funny.
something inside your heart. Something with desires very different from your own. Does that description feel familiar to you at all? Because to me, you seem unpredictable. As though you could turn traitor at any moment.
Nope. Certainly a
The more
fake
I learn
idea.
about you, the less I like. I had thought you might be of use to Lady Edelgard, but now I am beginning to think you may, through no fault of your own, present too great a risk. I hope you will prove me wrong, Professor. I would hate for this to come to bloodshed.
Oh, Hubert. Hubert. Never in a million years could you pull off what you think you're planning. You know what? I don't remember Edelgard and Manuela.
That song.
Oh, hello, Edelgard.
Professor Manuela, that song you were humming. I feel as though I've heard it before, long ago. And I'm sure it was you singing it back then. At the Opera House in the Imperial capital, perhaps.
Why, yes. You must have seen me there. I am flattered you would remember it. I performed with the Mittelfrank Opera Company in Enbar on numerous occasions.
So it was you. I went to that performance with my uncle. I wanted desperately to see it again. But after that night, he took me to seek asylum in the kingdom. When I returned to the Empire several years later, you had already retired.
Oh, that's a shame. So you only got to hear me sing once?
Sadly, that's correct.
Yet you still remember it, even the melody of the song I sang. I'm honored.
That's how much of an impression your voice left on me. I must ask, why did you retire so soon? You could have continued for another 10 or 20 years.
Indeed, many singers perform for decades. But that wasn't for me. I wanted to go out on top. My voice is a gift from the goddess. However, as all things do, it will decline with age. One day, I will lose that gift. And so I decided I needed to learn to survive without it, long before that day came. I needed to prove to myself that I can live on, even after my voice returns to the goddess.
So despite your belief in the goddess, you wish to live by your own strength?
It's hard for me to explain. The goddess supports me both spiritually and emotionally. Everything else is up to me.
Well. I guess something is starting there. Hubert and Linhart Part 2.
I can't believe it. How can I show my face to Lady Edelgard after this?
That's what you get, Hubert. If you rested like me, you wouldn't collapse from exhaustion.
As much as it pains me to say it, you're right. But to be looked after by you of all people, that might be the worst part of this. I don't know how to feel, to be honest. So for now, let's pretend I thanked you.
Oh, come now. Even I wouldn't abandon someone who collapsed.
You would have in a heartbeat if anyone else had been around.
Ah, yes. Quite accurate, Hubert. Why would I ever bother to be a decent person if there were anyone else I could foist the duty upon? If your situation turned bad, it would have been an absolute hassle. I could never just leave you there.
If that were the sort of man you truly were, we could never be friends.
But if we weren't friends, I probably would have just left you.
Shame you're so reluctant to do any real work. You're actually pretty good at this. Made sure I was comfortable, checked carefully for injuries, even carried me here yourself. If only you'd apply that knowledge of yours so proactively and thoroughly all the time, you'd be a tremendous asset to the Empire.
There you go again. I see no problem with staying just the way I am. But think of it this way. In an anthill, 20% of the ants are asleep at any given time. And it's not because they're lazy. Far from it. When the working ants become tired, they go to sleep and the others wake up. That's me. I'm the ant who rests so I can work later when other people are tired.
Maybe that's true. But even if it is, it's still just a fancy way to say you let others do all the work. Consider me unconvinced.
I'll consider you a bother and leave it at that.
Yeah, you tell him,
You and
Linhart.
Edelgard work far too hard. I mean it. Take a break now and then. If you both collapsed, I think it'd be too much effort for me to bother with. Get some rest, Hubert. Not as much as me, of course.
Fine.
Alright, that was pretty good. Caspar and Ash. I have no idea how this will...
Hey Ash, what's with all the noise? Did something happen?
I only just heard myself. Looks like a thief got into the pantry and made off with some of our food supply.
Stealing from a monastery? What kind of monster would do such a thing? Come on, we gotta get that dirty thief.
Definitely. I'm sure we can capture the culprit if we work together.
Capture? What are you talking about? Why bother? This is the kind of person who would steal from a monastery. We gotta take this guy out as soon as we see him. How do you expect to get rid of the evil in this world if that's how you're gonna treat it?
What? I should be the one asking you that. The first thing we need to do once we've caught this person is hear what they have to say. They might have been forced into a life of theft by some awful circumstances.
You really don't get it, do you? If you let people get away with stuff like this, it's only gonna get worse. If we're gonna uphold justice, then we gotta stop evil. Simple as that.
I'm all for the rule of law, but indiscriminate slaughter isn't going to solve anything. You can't can't just execute someone on a wild assumption and call it justice.
And you can't just hide behind your fancy words. You have to take action. You know what? Forget it. There's no point in arguing this with you. We're gonna have to fight this one out. Whoever wins gets to make the plan. Got it?
What? How is fighting supposed to decide who's wrong and who's right? We're not barbarians, are we? Just take it easy and we can talk this over.
We don't have time to take it easy. The thief is getting away, and all you want to do is talk and...
Hey, did you hear? Apparently they caught the thief who stole the food. All's well that ends well, right?
Oh, come on! You hear that? You just cost me my chance.
Hey, if they've already been caught, let's just leave it at that.
Can't believe these two lads are getting into an argument about what justice looks like. Bernadetta and Sylvain Part 2. I actually kind of forgot what Part 1 looks like.
I've looked everywhere. I guess Sylvain must still have it. Huh? When did this book get here? Wait, this is mine. And there's something sticking out of it. A letter? Dear author, I read your manuscript quite by accident and duly apologize. However, I also write today to inform you that I enjoyed your story tremendously. I laughed and cried as the heroine overcame her many obstacles, growing stronger with each step. Your literary style presents a unique perspective. I could sense you watching over the protagonist. Wow, so many compliments, and so much attention to detail. The girl's failures are as compelling as her triumphs, since authors are told to write what they know. I believe your tale would not have been so convincing were it not for your own experiences. What? My own experiences? That's a weird way to give praise. Who wrote this anyway? Who would read my story so carefully and then write this long letter to tell me about it? Whoever it is, they must be wonderful. Someone like my dear old uncle. I do hope my letter inspires you to keep writing. Looking forward to the next chapter. Your devoted fan, Sylvain. What? Sylvain? It can't be!
Hey, Bernadetta. Did you read my letter?
How long have you been standing there?
I'm sorry, but I fell head over heels for your story. It's so good, and I just had to tell you about it. So, what do you say? Will you write more? Why don't we talk literature over some tea?
Oh, I see your plan now. You're out to humiliate me. Very clever, but I'm not falling for it.
And... oh, it really just ends right there? He can't even get an A rank with her? That's a bold decision there. Not that I entirely disagree with it, but bold decision.
Ash, I need to give you more gratitude for the commoner techniques you showed me.
Commoner techniques? Oh, you mean when I haggled for you?
Yes, it has made for many savings. I was telling the professor, we both are so happy.
Really, it wasn't a big deal, but I'm glad the professor was pleased. What is it? Do I have something on my face?
For a lot of time, I was living in the Imperial capital. Then I came here, to the monastery. Both places contain many nobles, and many chances to be learning noble customs.
That's true. When you're surrounded by new people, you naturally pick up all kinds of stuff. Though with nobles, there's a lot to learn. All the etiquette is overwhelming. Not to mention the dancing. I just keep stepping on my partner's feet.
In Fodlan, the nobles are training for dancing since their youth. They have much skill.
When I was a kid, I spent most of my time helping out at my parents' restaurant and playing with my brother and sister. Back then, I never dreamed I'd ever be studying at a proper academy with all these nobles.
I have learned many customs of the nobles, but few of the commoners. I am hoping you will teach me, Techniques, secret skills, anything. All of the things.
Secret skills? I don't think I know anything that fancy.
That is not the truth. The technique for money saving could be helpful even for nobles. It has use for all the world.
I don't know about that. Really, I don't have any special secrets.
Commoner wisdom is only to be shared with commoners, then? I have understanding. Forbidden knowledge. Ash, how about we make a bargain? We can be trading information. In Brigid, powerful curse techniques are passed down. And we can speak with the spirits. I can be teaching you these things.
What? Curses? No. I don't need any dangerous information like that. But if you really insist, I guess I could teach you a few things about what life is like on the streets. Would that be enough?
You will be showing me the secret techniques? I cannot be waiting!
That's not what I meant.
Forbidden knowledge of the commoners. Oh boy. Alright, Felix and Leone, they had some kind of competition going on, right?
Sorry to keep you waiting.
How long did you expect me to stand here?
I did just say sorry, but I could say the same to you. You were pretty slow to settle on a time.
I can't help having a busy schedule. Plus, I thought you could use the extra time to prepare.
We could go back and forth like this all day. Or we could get started.
You were the one who kept me waiting. Let's begin.
On my signal?
Hurry up.
That's better. Okay, go!
Let's see what you... A pit trap?
That's right. How you feeling down there?
Coward!
Damn.
Say what you want, but Captain Gerald taught me this one. You're heavier than you look.
I'll admit, I wasn't expecting that.
If this were for real, you'd be dead. Aren't you glad I put straw down there instead of spikes?
Yes, I underestimated you. I suppose your lateness was a ploy to distract me.
You're not wrong. I did it to rile you up, draw you in. You're capable, confident. I was counting on that. So, what do you think about Captain Gerald's training now?
His technique worked and you won. What else is there to say? Winning is all that matters. You drew my attention to a major vulnerability. I'll need to be wary of traps. Thank you, Leone.
Seeing as you're thanking me, can I ask you a favor? Will you come watch my next training session? I'd like a few pointers about fighting in close quarters.
The loser must pay tribute, I suppose. Yes, I'll help you train.
You will? Thanks!
Well, that was nice. Good to see friendships blossoming. Sylvain and Marianne. Okay, that makes sense.
Hello, Marianne. All done for the day?
Oh, Sylvain. Yes, I was just heading back to my quarters.
Well then, my timing couldn't be better. I was just heading into town and I thought maybe you'd like to join me?
I don't think I should.
I heard a story once about a beautiful maiden who was locked up in a monastery day and night. She was held prisoner by her own fear of the outside world. Then a brave knight set the girl free and took her to town, where they drank tea and talked for hours. So, my fair maiden?
Please, you should not waste your time on me. Besides, my adoptive father requested that I not stray too far from the monastery.
Margrave Edmund wants to keep you locked up, huh? I've heard he's, let's call it ambitious. Well, just tell him who I am. I think he'd approve. I'm heir to House Gautier, one of the most prominent families in the kingdom. I've got a crest, I've got money, and I'm stunningly handsome. What's that face for, Marianne? Was it the handsome thing? I can see how that might have been a bit much.
I don't really know you all that well, but I don't think it makes a difference. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me that you have a crest.
Oh, no.
I didn't mean you should find my crest impressive. I meant your family would, and you know what? Maybe I should start over.
If you're going into town, please just go without me.
Oh, okay. I've got to get going anyway. Places to be, you know. Well, this is me going. But remember, should you ever need me, I will forever be your knight, my maiden.
I wonder what he meant by that.
God, Sylvain. Actually, I gotta take another look at that. And note that he's got supports with... looks like he's got supports with every girl. But most of them can only get to B rank. Like, Dorothea is the only girl outside of the Blue Lion's house that can get to an A rank. That's funny. Did I have any others? Balthus. Oh, right. Even though I can't recruit Hilda, I decided that it might be fun to get Balthus and Hilda at least part of their supports. So, let's see. See if I'm right.
Hilda, be a dear and spot me some gold, will ya?
Oh, boy.
Slow down, Balti. You can't be asking for money without so much as a hello. You're kidding, right?
Kidding, yeah. Thing is, I was deadly serious. I don't joke about matters of gold.
Your request is denied. You didn't used to be like this, you know.
I get the feeling you don't mean anything good by that. But come on, I'm the same as I ever was.
No, you used to be dependable. Like that time in the woods near Fodlan's throat. You remember?
Thinking. You sure that was me?
Yes. I had told Holst I wanted to go on a walk in the forest.
Holst never could tell you no.
Few can. Anyway, when the three of us got there, a horde of monsters appeared. I started wailing.
Then what happened?
My brother started hitting one of the beasts with a wooden sword. You hoisted me over your shoulder. Holst told you to get me to safety even if it killed you. So you ran the whole way from the forest to the estate with me on your back.
Ah, I remember it now. Toughest run of my life. I was so exhausted I threw up about a month's worth of lunches afterward.
Oh, Jesus.
And then you turned right around and started running back. You said, I've got to save Holst.
A good thing, too. Holst was moments from winding up in that thing's stomach. Had to slam into it, then Holst and I kept punching till the deed was done. Truly a fight to remember.
It was impressive, especially considering you were just teenagers. When you came back, you were just bruised boys in tattered clothes. But to me, you looked like heroes. And now, here you are, a scrounger who can hardly open his mouth without nagging me for money. What happened to that brave little boy who saved me from a monster?
Wow, way to shame a guy. I feel awful. But I still need gold. Can't live without it in this cruel world.
Oh, come on. We both know that when you have money, you drink or gamble it all away. But I suppose I could ask my brother to help pay off your debts, get you back on your feet.
Don't you dare speak to Holst about this. He's a close friend. I'd hate to ruin what we have by borrowing gold.
Oh, but you have no qualms about using his little sister? Figured I'd be an easy mark, is that it? Unbelievable.
That could have gone better.
Yeah, it sure could have, Balthus. Alright, that was worth doing. But I guess that's it. Yeah, that's it for the supports.